Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for Team Reticent versus Team YOSH. Once again, this time on Dorado. So, last game, I was mistaken, sorry. It turns out that it is 3-1 currently. So, what do you think Team Reticent need to do to make this 2-3 bracket?
They really need to identify their win conditions a bit better. They have showed a rather diverse strategy. Whether they have been practicing it or not, we've seen, on several maps they have been, demonstrating alternate pathing. Whether they know the advantages, the disadvantages of these paths that they take is still in question. Whether they know, how to operate against the team comp that YOSH have been presented. Once again, Leela doing a fantastic job on that main. We know that Leela also did a fantastic job with that Roadhog as well. They just need to identify what are causing these problems. The Kunpon is also going off on Reinhardt as well. Kobe has had his moments. You need to look into the game and say, right, this, we need to sort this out, and they just haven't found the answers yet.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing now Team Reticent running the Symmetra, looking to be able to do that also with the hero on that Tourbillon. I'm forgetting the name of it. I hardly see him played. This is going to be trying to make their entire team into one big tank as they hold up top here. Looking over, we see Leela now on this Roadhog, looking to be able to do quite a bit of that. That turret does end up going down, mostly there just to build ult charge, as we see somebody getting caught out there. We see Kunpon getting caught out as the members of Team Reticent do end up taking him down. And Jaws getting himself hooked, but managing to keep himself alive with some good healing by Coffee. We're going to be seeing Hero taking out Mr. Marvel, so they're going to be Team YOSH are going to have to wait a bit longer to be able to initiate in this fight bracket.
Yeah, well, this is the surprise factor with this sort of composition, as Pancake looks like he might be getting caught out, yeah. And YOSH, they could really capitalize on this. With that Roadhog hook, the Maywall is placed down, Shiz.
Well, looks like they will be initiating off of this as Kunpon does try to move in here, but he gets taken down by those turrets, completely ignoring them, hoping his teammates can take them out. We see that Tourbillon coming out. The Molten Core not really end up doing too much because he does get himself picked out of that situation. But that push meaning absolutely nothing, seeing as Kunpon did get caught out in that situation from those turrets. That's going to mean a massive disadvantage to them coming in.
Yeah, this team comp that this Reticent squad is running, it's pretty much a full defense team. Its priority is zone control. They are very volatile once they do get all in, though. If you use that self-destruct sequence to clear a lot of the turrets, they can be left exposed, but they do have a lot of health pool if they manage to get the shield generator down in conjunction with the armor packs of Tourbillon.
Well, we saw Watchfresh there block off Kunpon, getting himself picked down with some good charges by Jaws. So they're going to be having to wait once again to be able to initiate in this next fight. We're going to be seeing Team YOSH with a lot more of the ults, but they're not going to be able to initiate without their Reinhardt bracket.
Yeah, Reinhardt certainly is going to be a factor here, but I also asked the question whether Winston should be picked here too. Winston is quite good against Symmetry. He can clear out those turrets very easily. Leela does end up getting picked onto Hero. This could be a very good identification to go in right now.
Yeah, we see that High Noon coming out, but it getting walled off, so it's not really going to be doing too much. It was a really good wall. We see that Sound Barrier coming out just as well, but coming out a bit too early. Out comes that Blizzard from Watchfresh, managing to catch a few people. Leela popping that whole hole, but not really able to do much. Jaws getting that charge onto Leela, so we're going to be seeing a few members of YOSH coming in the back. And out comes that counter shatter from Kunpon. Out comes that self-destruct, but he's going to have to block it off last second as Watchfresh is caught in a little bit out of that situation. Nobody's pushing the cart. They're not really making much of this situation, seeing as that cart is not getting pushed, so they're completely wasting their entire time. With that minute left, we're going to be seeing them, well, if Team Reticent do come back they have a teleporter, I believe, so that's going to mean, no, they're going to let them actually come through the door here with that minute left on the clock racket. What do you think they're going to be, what do Reticent need to do to be able to stop them from taking this point?
They have that nano boost. They can just plant it on Jaws or Pancake. They can charge in, try to delay. That's the only thing they can do. They plant it on Jaws.
Talking about that nano boost, it comes out on Jaws. He's trying to swing into the background, getting himself knocked around. Leela getting a good hook on Hero. We see Kumpon getting himself taken down in that situation. We're going to be seeing a very good hold coming from Team Reticent, but Leela doing a really good job on that Roadhog, completely stopping them from being able to do that sort of thing. I think the teleporter is still up, so a few members are going to be able to get back. But no, the teleport is not up. I'm completely mistaken. We're going to be seeing Team YOSH being able to try to bully a few members of Team Reticent, picking them off one by one with Leela on this Roadhog. But Kumpon trying to hold up that shot. Out comes that High Noon from Kobe, but it's not really able to find anyone as Pancake does get taken out of that mech. Is one person he's able to get. Out comes that Sound Barrier from Mr. Marvel, and that Earth Shatter from Kumpon, managing to get a few members with that CC, but we're going to have to be sitting on this point for Team YOSH. Do look like they're taking this point. That was a weird hook coming out from Leela, but managing to be able to get it nonetheless. So this point will be going to YOSH with that overtime. They're going to get 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. What do YOSH need to do to be able to really capitalize on this racket?
Well, they sort of have inherently capitalized in the sense that once the Tourbillon and Symmetra is picked, Tourbillon needs to change because he isn't very good on the second point. He's more used as a surprise factor. Sunny looks like he's still going to maintain that Symmetra, which I think is questionable. I don't think those turrets can be utilized as much on this point as it could in the previous one. But they are placing a teleporter actually, so this is going to be a very interesting strat. They could just dive on them, suicide, and they can come back. They're doing that right now. Yeah,
we're going to be George jumping down here. Out comes that Blizzard as well, and the Nanoboost on Pancake, looking to be able to do quite a bit. Kumpon trying to disengage out of that fight, but getting caught in there by the enemy Reinhardt, looking to do quite a bit. We see a lot of members of Team YOSH getting themselves picked up or disengaging out of this fight as Hero and Coffee, the only people up front as supports. Down goes the teleporter. It was a really good pick by Ron, so now they don't have anything to fall back up on if YOSH do manage to pick them off racket.
Yeah, good job there from Monstrosity. Very sneaky and mischievous as he walks through there, gets the teleporter. Pancake also does get picked off, but Reticent, they do not have that teleporter available. This is going to halt them in their defense here.
Yeah, we saw that High Noon come out as well. Mr. Sunny looking quite low, and Mr. Sunny does end up going down here as Kumpon did charge in there, but he did get punished for that going in that deep. We see Leela getting some really good hooks off as Watchfresh is standing up hot here, trying to do quite a bit, but Ron jumping right onto him, but getting his own diva to be able to back him up. Jaws getting himself hooked there, looking quite low. Out comes the Sound Barrier. Jaws getting really healed up there. A few members getting caught. All members, getting caught in that Earth Shatter. We see a few people do end up going down from that Diva Bomb. Leela getting himself picked out. See Ron trying to delay this point. Out comes their own self-destruct, and that Earth Shatter managed to get a quad kill there. That was a really good job from Team YOSH there, as Washfresh is the only person left to delay this point.
Well, that was outstanding. You could say it was quite a monstrosity, that combo there. I mean, previously you saw Jaws and Sun try to, coordinate their routes, and it was very funny because Monstrosity and Kumpon, after surviving the fight, they're like, oh, we're just gonna do it. And then afterwards they capitalize, get a triple kill, and they do a very good job at capitalizing on their old combos and do a much better job than what Reticent did that previous fight.
Leela there, looking for a pick there at that hook, but getting the wrong person. Yeah, picking up a hog there, that wasn't looking very good, but Team YOSH are trying to initiate in here with that Sound Barrier. Looking to be able to do quite a bit. We see Ron jumping in the back line here as Jaws trying to look for a situation where he can get his entire team, but it ends up getting picked out from all that pressure as the point does get pushed. Hero trying to delay it so it doesn't get pushed actually, but him getting himself caught in a bad situation nonetheless. Trying to run away as a few members do chase after him. He's got high survivability, but Leela does end up taking him down as Team Reticent do try to reset here, because this is the last push. If they manage to take this with this 50 seconds left on the clock, it's going to mean a lot, but Jules gets that Nanoboost, and so does Kumpon. Both Ryans with that Nanoboost trying to do quite a bit. We see that whole coming out as well. Nobody contesting the point as Team YOSH are able to take it, Racket.
Clash of the Titans in that fight. Both Reinhardts were nano boosted, and Kumpon charged through that fight with the nano boost placed onto him and managed to lock onto Jaws, take him out at the beginning, and Leela, very good whole hog coming out there, getting a triple kill, eliminating a lot of those members as they were trying to engage throughout that fight, and it really did give them an opportunity to get on point. The payload wasn't being pushed, and Swiftly was just making its way through there onto the point, and they just do a very good job here. But it is not the most impressive time, which is to note as well. Still 42 seconds left on the clock. Nothing to write home about. It is very doable for Team Reticent to play this on attack here. And note that the composition for this Team Reticent team was mostly based on the defense heroes. You had the Mei, you had the Symmetra, you had the Tourbillon on the first point. They wanted to hold that first point, and they lost a lot of tempo after swapping both those heroes. And inevitably, when you lose a lot of that value on your ult, you just get snowboard. This is the problem with the Tourbillon and Symmetra team comp.
Yeah, well, we're now going to be seeing a different team comp from YOSH. They're not going to be running that. They're going to be running their own sort of thing. What do you think about this team comp coming from Team YOSH, Racket?
It's sort of similar as what Team Reticent did, but they're not going, all in on it. They have that Mei to hold the choke, but they don't have the Tourbillon and the Symmetra with those zone-controlled turrets to, stay in the backlines there and add an additional threat in that sort of sense. But the composition that they're running now is a bit more sturdy. It allows them to gather a bit more tempo if they do get wiped. Of course, this team, you'd rather stay with this same team comp throughout the whole match. With Tourbillon Symmetra, you have to switch off. So it's not about holding this first point. It's about, establishing a bit of zone control with Leela's Mei. Done a very good job with it before. Not going all in on this whole defense sort of category with it, though.
Yeah, we see Pancake now onto that Pharah, looking to be able to do quite a bit. We saw it work a few other times. Leela looking for that right opportunity to the wall there, but not able to get anybody there. Do bear with me for the meantime, my throat is slowly starting to die, but we see Pancake jumping over the top here, trying to do quite a bit of damage on the back line of Team YOSH, as Team Reticent do manage to steady themselves and build themselves up and around in this area. We see Watchpoint jumping down, getting caught in a bad position as the rest of his member of his team do charge it. Coupon does get himself charged there, getting pinned against the wall. He's looking quite low in this situation, but getting healed up with the good help of Wolf from it on his team. We're going to be seeing both teams looking a little bit stalematey, both Ryans looking for a time to actually attack each other. Leela's wall coming out there, not really end up doing too much, getting himself picked off. Out comes that Earth Shatter from Jaws, managed to catch a few members, not really able to capitalize on it in that situation, seeing as he got stunned. But Team YOSH are getting picked off one by one as Team Reticent do push through here, Racket.
Yeah, I think it's a very good adaptation from this Reticent team. They know that Leela's going to be playing Mei, so they pick with the Pharah there on Pancake, and Pancake already has that Rocket Barrage, so he's doing a very good job with it so far. And YOSH are just scattering in one by one, so Reticent are going to be quite happy with this, as Pancake has the opportunity to clean them up with that big AoE ultimate.
Yeah, we see Leela coming back in here, looking to do quite a bit. Out comes that Graviton Surge onto the enemy Zarya, but it doesn't really end up doing much. And we see a Pharah Barrage and also the High Noon coming out, but the Pharah Barrage does always take the win there. Reticent taking this point, Racket. YOSH really did try to delay there, but they burnt a lot of ults in the process. What's that going to mean for them trying to hold up here this next part?
Well, it's going to delay them a bit. Mr. Sunny is nearing that self-destruct sequence, but they have really nothing to follow it up for. As of now, Watchfresh is close to that Graviton Surge, so they always have that option as well. The thing is, YOSH, at the moment, they have the necessary equipment to deal with this onslaught that Team Reticent is at the moment. They have the defensive Reinhardt of Shadow. Leela also has that AoE Blizzard. They just have the correct toolkit if Team Reticent get in their faces.
Well, talking about Team Reticent getting in their faces, we saw that the Diva Bomb coming out, but not really able to do too much things. It did get walled off, and Coupon had his shield up as well. Mr. Sunny getting himself frozen, taking out a mech, but Jaws is really pushing this point out there. But that Blizzard does come out, Jaws getting himself in a bit of a bad situation, as the rest of the members of Team Reticent back up towards this statue over here, looking to be able to regroup in the situation. Jaws caught out by himself. Out comes the High Noon from McCree, but not really, only able to get that kill on Mr. Sunny, which didn't really mean much, seeing as he was out of the mech. But we're going to be seeing possibly another reinitiation from YOSH, as they, never mind, they disengage out of the situation to be able to give themselves some more breathing room before Team Reticent do engage.
Yeah, YOSH establishing a bit of high ground control here. Kobe and Wolf, I think Mr. Sunny and Pancake are trying to contest that as the Graviton Surge goes on.
Yeah, the Graviton Surge does come out, but it manages to get a few people, but nothing really much coming out of it. Jaws brings out that Earth Shadow, managing to take out Ron. No, Ron ends up going down, but Team Reticent really following up on that situation, managing to scatter themselves around, getting quite a bit of damage out. Kumbon does get himself put to sleep, but he doesn't get himself picked off as Team Reticent do push in here, but Kumbon does end up going down, that I've talked about it. Mr. Marvel does end up going down as well, so Team Reticent are able to take this point, Racket.
Yeah, I mean, that Graviton Surge at the beginning there from Watchfresh certainly playing quite a big part into initiating that team fight. Quite a good place to also place the Graviton Surge as well. With that bridge, it's quite a condensed area rather than from the rest of the map being quite open. So good job at identifying the correct win condition in that fight scenario. And they just went and capitalized with it through the choke. And Jaws just freely whacked his hammer, Pancake getting the AoE. Good job.
Yeah, Jaws picking up the kill on Wolf, so it's going to be quite a lot. Pancake bringing out that Rocket Barrage, managing to pick up 2 kills there. Cooper caught in a bit of a bad situation away from his entire team, bringing out that charge, trying to manage to get back to them. But we see Team Reticent pushing this cart with a lot of enthusiasm, and they do have those ults to be able to delay them and keep them off of this cart. Hero with that sound barrier ready. Mr. Sunny does end up there. Down comes the sound barrier from both teams, looking to be able to keep alive in this fight, because it's going to really come down to the wire here. We're going to be seeing 3 minutes left in the clock, so it doesn't really matter if Team Reticent do or lose this fight. But that Ana boost does come out on Mr. Sunny, getting those picks. Leela looking quite low on the backline, trying to get out this Ana, but it doesn't really mean too much. Coupon bringing out that both teams, Team YOSH bringing out both of the CC there, that Earth Shatter and that Zarya Graviton, but it doesn't really end up doing too much, seeing as they aren't having that damage to back it back up, as the team members of Team Reticent did re-engage here. Jaws being the only real person pushing up here. Out comes that tactical visor from Kobe, looking to be able to get quite a few kills out here, but everybody hiding behind that Rhine shield, not letting him be able to use it that well as Team Reticent do disengage, Racken.
Yeah, and I think the key thing to note there, as you said, once that Graviton Surge and the Earth Shatter came out, there wasn't any follow-up, so they have 2 very useful resources that were burnt in this fight, and Reticent are going to be, you know, quite happy with that. They have their Earth Shatter of their own, Nano Burst and the Graviton. Very good time for them. Yeah,
we're seeing another reinitiation as that Graviton comes out, and that Rocket Barrage looking to pick up quite a few kills, manages to get quite a few kills. Good job by Watchfresh and Pancake there, as both Ryans had their own little fight in the back. Leela trying to look for that hook, but getting caught out in a bad situation, and it looks like Team Reticent are going to take this point with 2 minutes and 1 second left on the clock against Team YOSH's 1 minute, as they're going to have to push here next. Racket, what do you think Team YOSH need to do here to push well?
It's going to be interesting. Reticent have the privilege of having 1 minute up on them, and we've seen recently that this YOSH team aren't really the sort of team to commit for a dive comp, which could prove to be quite crucial when working against such a small time pool in 1 minute. They prefer to get that slow push. I mean, we've already seen Leela loves to play Mei, so that really identifies the sort of playstyle within their team. And Leela is playing for the Roadhogs. That's the most aggressive thing that we're going to be seeing off this YOSH lineup. You want to be looking for those hooks, need to get that pick, and it's going to be interesting to see how the mind game sort of plays off here. Shiz, are they going to say, you know, maybe the team comp for Reticent was a one-off thing, they did it for the surprise factor, we won't be expecting it next rotation for this map, or are they going to be like, well, they might play it again, and it's going to, you know, inevitably affect their team composition? It looks like they predicted that they weren't going to pick that team comp, so they're not opting with the Winston to counter the shields. So a good little estimate here for this team of YOSH. They're only really dedicating the Mei for that zone control, not popping it off with the Symmetra and Tourbillon as well. So pretty standard stuff from what we've seen so far on this map.
Yeah, we've seen Team Reticent this time not actually running the Symmetra and Tourbillon. You see Ron coming in and knocking a few members off. This might be quite huge for Team YOSH, as they do end up getting quite anti-healed here, but Coffee getting caught in a bit of a bad situation, almost going down, managing to stay. No, never mind, there goes a few members of Team Reticent. This is a really good push by Team YOSH as they try to come through this choke. Both teams doing pretty well on their attacks, but not this well on defense. We're going to see Leela trying to look for that hook and be that time to initiating it. With this 20 seconds left in the clock, Hero does end up getting hooked here, as Team YOSH aren't really. Oh, now they're pushing in. We're going to see Sunny coming out of that mech. It's going to be quite a lot. Jaws coming back in, looking to be able to shield his team, but it looks like YOSH are pushing in here, and comes the Nano Boost on Coupon, getting himself put to sleep. Out comes that Graviton Surge on the backline of YOSH and getting all anti-heal, but it didn't really mean too much. Well, it's actually going to mean some stuff now that the damage is coming out, but most of the members of Team YOSH were able to cope with that situation as Team Reticent didn't have that damage coming in. Hero getting himself picked out by Leela once again. Bad luck by Hero, caught in a bit of bad position, but looks like Team YOSH will be taking this point. So we're going to be seeing a lot more fight coming out from YOSH.
Yeah, this is going to be. Well, I think YOSH should be very happy with that. The fact that they only had the 1 minute pool to work with here, and they really utilised, as I mentioned previously, Leela is their hope to get those picks, and Leela did get a very early hook at the start there, and they capitalised on it, have that numbers advantage, and they just snowboard it through there. Let's not forget, Shiz, that they have to stay on the payload. It is going to be overtime constantly. It's going to be very interesting.
Here comes that Blizzard looking to wipe the team here, and that self-destruct, looking to pick up a few kills, managing to get 2 kills there. Good job by Mr. Sunny, and it looks like Team YOSH are going to be losing this point at this part. So, oh, never mind, there comes the Earth Shatter, but I don't think they're going to have the key members to be able to take this, as Kumpon does go down, and so does their hopes of pushing this any longer. So, Team Reticent do have to make it past the first point here, Racket. How do you think they're going to go about that?
Well, it's not going to be too difficult. It depends on the team composition that YOSH are going to be running. From what we've seen previously, they do like running the Mei on this map as well. Both teams like running the Mei. And what is Mei's main goal? It is to zone control and to stall. And if we're having these scenarios and when you have a very low time pool to get through, it's going to be perfect. So I think a lot of it's going to be revolved around Leela with that Mei. Oh, actually, onto the Roadhog. So completely disregard what I just said. So they're going for that Roadhog instead, which could actually prove to be better since Pancake is on that Pharaoh. So it's a bit of a team comp adaptation. They're saying, you know, Mei is very good on this map. We played it before, but Pancake does like playing that Pharaoh. Mei, of course, historically isn't a very good matchup for that. You know, Mei is very good for ground control, but Pancake on that Pharaoh establishes a lot of air control, so you can't really do anything. It's a game of rock, paper, scissors, and in that sense, you know, paper beats rock. So, no, it doesn't. Rock beats paper.
Racket, come on, man.
Yeah, I haven't played rock, paper, scissors for a long time, mate. But,
we have to game after this, Racket. Anyway, looking at Team YOSH here, they're now holding the low ground. They're not even taking the risk of taking the high ground. We saw what happened last time with Team Reticent taking that high ground. Sorry to cut you off there, but we're going to have to be going underway here as Team Reticent they're not trying any silly strats this time. They're looking to go straight through this choke. Never mind, now that I say that, I'm looking over at Watch Fresh. Going up here, maybe possibly looking to take some high ground. Pancake looking to do some damage off top as Leela looking for that hook. Not really able to find any targets, seeing as they're all hiding in weird spots. And never mind, just charge in here. A big burst of energy coming out from Team Reticent as they try to initiate in here. Looks like a few members of Team Reticent are very understanding and coping with the situation, as Jaws does take out Kumpon. Mr. Sunny does get taken out of that mech. Kirby does get taken down as well. Jaws charging in here, not really picking up anything. Leela trying to punish him for that by doing quite a bit of damage, but Coffee's onto that, managing to keep him alive in that situation. But looks like a lot of the members of Team YOSH getting quite scattered in this fight and letting Team Reticent clean up after that as Kumpon comes back. And now comes a Rocket Barrage from Pancake, managing to clean up this fight. Team Wolf looking back here, getting himself picked off. So it's going to be a very close game as YOSH have to hold and make sure Team Reticent do not take this last point, Racket.
Yep, Reticent have now got that first point. Look at where they need to go. They have 55 seconds to get on that yellow rectangle, and they do have Coffee's ult in that nano burst. They do have Mr. Sunny's self-destruct sequence. Looking at the other side as well, 3 ults are up for this YOSH side, so there's going to be a very close engage here, because it's going to be very vital as well, as the yellow rectangle is so close to that payload.
Yeah, we're closing up on the end of the match here. Look, it's going to be mostly coming down, and there comes the out comes the nano boost, not the nano boost, there's the nano boost on Kumpon as he brings out that Earth Shatter, knocking Jaws down, not letting him do anything. A big anti-heal did come out, but nobody capitalized on it, as it looks like Team YOSH are able to hold this with 17 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to do quite a big forward hold here to not let any of the members of Team Reticent come in. As we see Coffee looking to be able to get that nano boost off on a target. We see that Graviton Surge coming out, looking to do quite a bit, but a lot of the members are able to stay alive because of Hero's sound barrier, but that Graviton Surge does come out from Watch Fresh here, looking to be able to clean up the rest of that fight, as Mr. Marvel there, last hope, tried to delay that point, but it looks like Team Reticent will be taking this last game, Racket. What went wrong there for Team YOSH? They looked like they had it.
They definitely did, but the thing was, Team Reticent were quite composed. Team YOSH did have an ultimate advantage at the start. They utilized that, and after being wiped, Team Reticent said, well, we got to regroup here. 15 seconds left on the clock. We do have resources of our own. They used everything last fight, so let's charge in here. Used everything, and they did that very well. The resource management was good. They didn't waste anything. They went for a dry run the previous fight, and they capitalized that as they all went onto the point. 15 seconds left on the clock. Overtime, getting onto that yellow rectangle, as I said. Very good job here from Reticent.
Yeah, it was a really good job. Anyway, that was the last map. It looks like Team YOSH did come out there on Team Reticent with the 3-2, but do remember this is a scrim, so it's a lot for practice.